Aside from just panning a sound into the stereo field, another interesting way to send an element to the surrounds would be to create a reverb return with a surround reverb on it. We would create a new stereo aux input. We'll name it Fix Verb 1. Turn on the inserts view and add a reverb to this channel. If we go to space, you'll see there's a stereo to quad, stereo to 5.0. We'll choose stereo to quad. You'll get this dialog that says that some outputs will be removed. That's okay, because it's going to turn this track from a stereo track into a quad track. You'll notice now there are 4 meters here as opposed to 2. It's taking the stereo signal, which we feed into it, and upmixing it to a quad signal using the reverb. Looking at the presets in the reverb, it's always good to find something that represents an upmix to a quad. For instance, here you'll see M-Q, which means mono to quad, which would be acceptable to use, or you could also find a stereo to quad, which we have right here for the Rune Church. We also will need to set the output. Click on output. You won't be able to send it directly to the effects master track, because the effects master track is expecting, so instead of going to track, you would go through the bus. So if we go output bus, notice for the effects master there's a quad option. That will send these 4 tracks into the 4 corresponding tracks on the effects master. Now we need to send a sound to this reverb return. So we'll solo this cheer track. We just want to make it seem a little bit bigger, place it more in a space. We're going to turn on the sends column. We're going to click on the first send, and we're going to send it to the reverb return. So if we go down to track, you should see effects verb here. It'll bring up this fader, which will allow us to send that effect to the reverb. I'm going to solo the reverb too, so we hear that as well by holding down the shift key, allowing that as well as the crowd sound to be soloed. Open up the fader and you can hear the reverb is there. Let's take a look at the reverb effect. If you want to have the reverb primarily in the back and the dry signal in the front, if you go to the levels tab on the reverb, you'll notice there is a front and rear levels. This will allow you to drop down the front levels and just leave up the rear levels, or whatever combination you want. All these parameters are automatable, as with any other plugin. So that's how you create a reverb return. We can now send any of these tracks to the reverb using the send. If you want to automate the send, you'd make sure a send volume is turned up. Place your track into touch or latch, and as you play, you can automate this send. If for some reason you want to edit this automation, if you click on the track view selector, you can access the send information. So here is a send level automation that I just wrote.